guys, my name is Kelton and this is Obsessed Reviews. Today we're with the Chevy Blazer EV. Now the Blazer nameplate actually existed long before the 2000s and it was discontinued, but Chevy brought it back as an SUV. This was very controversial back in about 2019 when they did it because it was an SUV, a family SUV that had Camaro styling, and there were mixed opinions about it everywhere. This is the electric version of that. Now, it makes sense that they bring an electric version of that SUV to the market because they're kind of in this transition from gas to electric vehicles, and Chevy is showing us that they're committed to that. They have been expanding their electric portfolio so fast because they plan on being zero emissions by 2035. I actually think they've done a really great job in offering a option in this segment for EVs. And even though they're moving so fast and expanding their electric portfolio, they actually show a lot of attention to detail in these new cars, which I love. GM has shown they care a lot about design, and this really shows in this vehicle. And even though their vehicles follow a lot of the design trends we see today on most new cars, this and other Chevys has a design language that I can tell it's a Chevy. It has its own distinct kind of design, and the only way I think I can describe it is that each Chevy model has its own personality, but the same soul in a way. A lot of brands these days get lost in trying to figure out how to have model individuality while also having that grounded brand design. And Chevy doesn't really get lost in that, and they also don't just do the same thing for every single car. And before I get started, I really want to thank Frayne Chevrolet in Southwest Arkansas for letting me review this Blazer EV. And let's get back to the video. Now moving on to the design, this color is Galaxy Gray Metallic, and if you can see the way the sun is on it right now, it looks so beautiful, especially in person. And that's kind of the theme for the rest of this vehicle as well. I didn't really know how I felt about it when I saw it on pictures and stuff, but in person, it definitely looks really nice and sharp. I just love a sharp design, and that's kind of what Chevy specializes in. And shout out to Chevy for doing a really interesting paint option, something we do not see enough these days. Coming to the front end, you can really see, of course, they have the full width, whatever you want to call it, the full length, the wide DRL design, and I actually think it looks pretty good. It's not my favorite thing going on in the design industry with cars today, but you know, it's cool. And then we have this grille, which is really big especially for an electric vehicle. And then when you get up close, you definitely notice that this is not a grille. It's a little slit right here for airflow and right here, but that's about it. And this is just a plastic piece. I don't know how I feel about that, but I know a lot of EVs do that anyway. I just feel like it looks so, it's kind of disorienting to walk up on it and realize that there is no grille here, it's just plastic. Other than that, I really like how they integrated the DRLs with the headlights. It's nothing too crazy going on here, but it still looks really good. And coming to the side profile, you can really, I think this is the strongest point maybe of the entire design of the vehicle. This side profile, you can tell that the designer of this car was at work. And the way the paint is showing us the sun and reflecting it back and just flowing with the body lines, it really looks beautiful. Then you'll notice we have 21-inch wheels on this vehicle. And first of all, when I was seeing these in pictures, I love the 22s that are on the RS so much that I thought that these weren't my cup of tea, but in person, they look so good. They look so good. I'm really loving this design, and it's much more complex when you look at it in person. And another thing to point out is as these rear windows come to the rear, it kind of thins, and I think that's a really good design choice, especially because you want to accentuate the hips of the vehicle, and they did this in a very good way here. From the side profile, what I noticed the most is just how low it looks like this SUV sits, but it doesn't really sit any lower than any other SUV, but just how low it sits, it looks amazing in person. All right, now coming to the rear end, this is kind of where they lose me. You know, it looks good still, but this part right here just looks a little bulbous. The taillights look good, but yeah, this just kind of comes out a little too much for me, but I still think it looks great. All right, guys, now we're in the interior, and as you can see, this interior is very technologically gifted, and I actually really love the interior. When I was looking at it online, I get kind of annoyed because Everybody seems to be doing the cockpit design these days, but I think Chevy did a really good job with it. And I really like these red accents. It reminds me a lot of the red interior that this vehicle offers. These seats are going to be suede and Evotex, which I guess is just faux leather. But it looks really good in here, and these screens are integrated into the cabin very beautifully. This is a 17-inch screen. This is an 11-inch screen over here. And what I can say about the overall design, first of all, is that we've already reviewed the Trailblazer on this channel, which is the gas Trailblazer. And what I'll say is that this interior just feels like a more upscale and polished version of that, much more upscale. And this screen, none of the complaints that were in the Trailblazer apply to this one. This one is moving so smoothly. This is definitely just a totally different software uploaded into this thing. And I really like how we still have buttons for the climate control, as well as being able to do it in the screen. And then, of course, the digital gauge cluster is customizable if you want it to be. And what you'll also notice is that we do have a digital rearview mirror in this car, which this is my first time seeing one of these in person, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But I know that I actually might like it better than a regular rearview mirror, because adjusting an actual rearview mirror, which I do constantly for some reason because I hyperfixate on it, would be a non-existent problem in a vehicle that has this. Then another thing Chevy is doing right in this cabin is we have a lot of storage. We have this huge center console, and then we have this down here, which is deep, and then we have a wireless charger and more space for other things up there. Also, you can still see the Chevy Camaro inspiration because we have the circle vents. Yeah, that's it for the front seat. I really enjoy this, and I love the way that it flows. All right, and now I'm in my now I'm in the back seat, not my back seat, which it was my back seat. And what I do notice is that there's a lot of room back here. Chevy has done a great job of maximizing the room in this vehicle. It has about 38.92 cubic inches of leg room in the vehicle. Now, I'm only 5'7", so I'm not testing anything really, but this is my seating position, and I have so much room in there. There is vents back here, heated seats, and a panoramic sunroof. Then, as you can see, we have a nice sized trunk for the Blazer EV. It has about 25.5 cubic feet of space in the trunk, and I think that's more than enough for the class and very competitive. And then, of course, I think it does indeed have a lot of space. All right, now let's talk about range performance. So this will have 312 miles of range. This is the front wheel drive model. The rear wheel drive model will have 383, and the all wheel drive model will have 283. But can we talk about how cool it is that Chevy offers a rear wheel drive option? That's pretty cool, but if the wheels spin, it's still unseen. Now for power, this has 220 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. If you want more, you can get the rear-wheel drive model, which will get about 300. But if you want a lot, and a 3 seconds 0 to 60, you can go for the SS and get you 600 horsepower and 600 pound-feet of torque. All right, now to sum things up, Chevy has really taken the time to put a lot of effort and a lot of funding into their EV program, and I'm really proud of them for it. This is a time when everybody needs to be getting ready to transition, or at least starting their transition into EVs, because it's happening whether we like it or not, and it needs to happen. I'm going to finish the outro inside because there was a really loud truck that interrupted me. But let me know what you guys think of the vehicle. Do you think that Chevy did a good job tackling the EV space with this vehicle? Do you think that they could have done anything better? And do you think they've done what they should with the nameplate? Also, what do you think of the color? I think it's really girly pop, and I think it's really pretty and fluorescent, and I just love that Chevy did it. And they need to do more things like that, so when they do special stuff like that, we need to show them we appreciate it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and y'all have a good one. Bye.